All right. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jessica Tolley, and I'm here with Bob and Chip, and we're just trying to find out some of the generation differences that we see between the millennial generation and older generations. So I have to ask you, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Chip.
Jim.
No, I'm sorry,
That's
Tim.
all right. That's all right.
Tim, what do you see as some of the major differences between the attitudes of older generation and the millennial generation?
The young people seem to have to expect more earlier than we did. We expected to pay our dues. I'm of the generation where we had to do military service. Okay, it was no big deal. It's just what you did. Not everybody went to college. Class of '61 out of high school. And out of that, at that time, there was less than 15% nationwide that went to any post-secondary experience at all. In later years, in the 70s and 80s, I taught at a couple of universities, and 90% of the kids there didn't belong there. They weren't prepared, either technically and their attitudes. The old adage, 2 hours of preparation for every hour of class, they considered a bone preparation. They weren't disciplined. They weren't prepared. Now, young people are much more aware of the world around them than we were. Bearing in mind, before Cablevision, the differences in country were pronounced. Differences in accent, difference in values, difference in menus. Well, now it's more evened out for a variety of reasons. My own kids are in their 20s, and they're a mixed bag of overachievers and underachievers in different areas. The one thing I used to tell them was I didn't care about their grades when they were in high school. I cared about their work habits, their discipline, and their responsibility. Did they meet their responsibilities? And I constantly heard from my kids, well, so-and-so's parents don't make them do that. So-and-so's parents don't make them do that. Well, I'm sorry, you live here. You'll clean the dishes. That's your job. You'll make your own bed every morning when you get out of it. Part of that's military background, but part of it's just parenting. Your generation, and even my brother's generation,
He's much.
yeah, I really am. We're crappy parents. There's no nice way to make it. You're just plain crappy parents. In a lot of ways. We put our kids through private schools, Miami and Tulane. Their peer group, kids equally as talented as mine, they went to Florida State or Florida. Not because it was the best spot for them, or not because it's the only place their parents could afford. Their parents just didn't push them. We told ours, apply to any school. We'll find a way to pay for it. So you can creatively with grants and scholarships and stuff. Both kids had 80-90% of their costs deferred by scholarships, so that it can be done. Other parents just didn't care. We had the kids in Scouts. When I was a kid, everybody was in Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. Here was the exception. Hardly any of the kids' peers were in Scouts. Our kids drug them to church every Sunday. Like it or not, Sunday school and church. When you leave the house, go be a bummer. You're gonna. Their friends didn't have to.
I'm Jessica Tolley, and I'm here with Sharon, and I'm going to ask her a couple questions about the generational differences between Generation Y and maybe her parents' generation. So if you don't mind, can you give me an idea of what you think the major differences are between your generation and maybe your parents' generation?
The biggest thing I've seen is the technology, the information age. The last generation, they could access what was in the library, what was close to them. This generation, we have all the information of the world at our fingertips.
Very good. Do you see a difference in maybe the political views of your generation versus your parents' generations? I know it's kind of broad, but...
My dad knows what he believes, and I basically just go along with what he thinks because I have never had any interest in politics.
Okay. Very good. And speaking of technology, we are in a very high-tech world. Can you imagine not having your cell phone or your computer in your life? Or
I could
access to
probably
the internet?
live without the cell phone, but the computer, it'd be a shock. I think one could adapt to it, but it would definitely be a shock for a while.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us. Appreciate it. Hi, I'm Jessica Tolley, and I'm here with Tyler. Tyler's going to help us out by answering a couple questions on generational differences between the millennial generation and previous generations. So, Tyler, what do you see as some of the major differences, say, between your generation and your parents' generation?
Well, my generation definitely grew up with a lot more things, especially technologically speaking, as far as just cell phones. Just a big difference between me and my little brother, who's 14. I didn't get a cell phone until I was older. He's young, and he's elementary school when he gets a cell phone. So, just a big difference as far as communication is a big thing, because we're all talking to each other using the cell phones. Other than that, I'd also say that it's just a different way of life. Growing up now, just find different jobs as to where they were at. They're working in tobacco fields or working at a deli in New York.
So you think there's more opportunities for the millennial generation in non-labor type
Definitely.
roles?
Definitely.
Do you see a difference in maybe political views from your parents' generation to the millennial generation?
Because there's so many different opportunities, there's definitely, seems like there's definitely more of a opportunity to pick your own side, whereas in the past, in their generation, it's kind of like kind of following with their parents' footsteps. Whereas in this age, it kind of seems where people are a little bit more open-minded to, or the newer generations are open-minded to finding things on their own.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking time with us.
Not a problem.
All right.
You're just, I'd never hire.
Okay.
That's, my brother may have differences. No, I pretty much
Rebuttal?
agreed with
Rebuttal? What do you think about the technology differences from the generation?
Well, it's interesting you asked me that. Real interesting.
Oh, really?
Well, I've been working in computer science for 35 years.
Oh, okay. Very good.
He has a PhD. And I was just thinking about this last night, strangely enough, that the technology is so different. I was thinking, when I started, say, 75, what was it like 30 years before that? What was technology like? Because that's where we're at now. I look at the technology now. What was it like 30 years ago? Was when I started. And to look at that first 30, 45, 75, well, it was enormous. I mean, computers were made up of stone knives and bearskins. But now when I started, everything was. That's why I got into it, because it was changing and becoming whatever we wanted to. Now, my God, it's a full-fledged member of society. Look at particularly social media, where people are contacting each other. You're talking about the homogenization of population. People are communicating every day with people all around the world, regularly, as if they're their next door neighbors. They know each other, whether it's
Jersey, or a mother in India, or another scientist in England. I guess it's globalization, but the technology has allowed us to really be in contact with people we would never have been in contact with before. And that change, what that change is going to be, I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's but the technology for sure. We're talking about when I started, computers were big things that would fit in this room, and now it's again the cliche. They say there's more power in your watch